Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, and here we are in front of Tataru and Alphinaud, and let's see as it once was. Okay. What now? Alphinaud, Serenia, I've been looking all over for you. We've received news regarding Flaminn, Hoary Boulder and Coultenaut. Really? Has something happened? No, it's nothing bad. Quite the opposite, in fact. It seems that once they learned the science good name had been restored, they boarded the next ship bound for Limsa, and they should arrive any moment now. It's easy to forget how useful link ports are, isn't it? When they work, I mean, and you don't mind being spied on. Quite. But what wonderful news to think that our reunion was so close at hand. A pleasure to see you too, Alphinaud. Ah, Thancred. And Krile. What brings the two of you here? Krile and I have been looking into how we might track down Minfilia. And we may have just found the answer. Serenia, when you were fleeing Ul'dah with Minfilia, you said that Hydaelyn spoke to her shortly before we parted ways, yes? Well, assuming that's true, and I saw no reason to suspect that it is not, it seems reasonable to conclude that Hydaelyn commanded her to remain behind. That is to say, the Mother Crystal directly interceded to guide Minfilia. Admittedly, this is still quite hypothetical, but I propose that such intervention, however subtle, must surely have left some residual trace, a lingering disturbance in the ether, or a ripple, if you will. In order to establish the existence of such a ripple, of course, you will require suitable data. Fortunately, I know where such data can be found. The battleground where Serenia felt the ultimate weapon, and the site of my personal ignominy. It was there that Hydaelyn intervened to shield her from the magic I invoked. Krile and I will infiltrate the custom and analyze the ether therein. The two of you alone? I have proven a knack for subterfuge, and I'm confident there will be sufficient nooks and crannies in which to hide Krile while the patrols pass. Besides, if you and Serenia come along, who will see to Flaminn's grand homecoming? When you put it like that, very well. I will trust in your plan. I know not whether this data will yield a means to find Minfilia, but it will at the very least eliminate another avenue of inquiry. Tataru and I will return to the Rising Stones and make preparations for our comrade's return. Might I go there. Then I shall see the four of you at the Rising Stones. Safe travels. Oh, Serenia, how have you been? Come here. Let me have a look at you. Thank the 12. When hears the strangest tales in foreign lands, I worried about you all, every day. We would have sent word sooner, but the waves afforded us no opportunity. When they fell upon us in the market, it was all we could do to escape. Tataru found her way to you, of course, but we were forced to seek shelter aboard a Hunnish vessel. It pained us not to be there when you needed us most, but we made the most of it, didn't we, Coultenaut? Studied and trained from dusk till dawn, we did. We would have sent word sooner, but we knew not whom to trust, and with a vast distance. But those dark days are behind us at last. I shall be glad indeed to return home and speak with my daughter. Sorry to say that, What do you mean she's missing? How could you let this happen? Forgive me. I'm sure you do everything in your power to find her. As Thancred must be. He watched over her from the first, long before me, and he will watch over her to the last. I shall pray for her safe return and busy myself in the meantime. For a certainty there was much more to be done. The braves may have bloodied us, but the path remains, and we shall not be swayed from it. Aye, that's the spirit. To the science and a long overdue reunion. Hossa! Well, there you have it. To the rising stones. It cannot be easy to tell a mother that her daughter is missing.
Well done, sir. And with that, I believe we are ready to proceed.
Let us be about our business then. The next patrol may not be so credulous.
Why must you be so disappointingly brusque? You're not at all as Minfilia described, you know. I don't think you favored me with so much as a single compliment since we set out. Tell me, did your time in the wilderness sap you of all your charm? Or are you holding it in reserve for your beloved?
This is neither the time nor the place.
Does Thancred have different colored eyes? It almost looked like it, but I'd never noticed that before. Might just be the lighting. I don't know.
Well, call me old-fashioned, but when I'm risking life and limb infiltrating an Imperial castrum, I like to be sure of my comrades' motivations.
I see now where Alphino gets it from.
Definitely different colors, right? But what's that? Green? Yellow? And here this blue? Gray? I don't know how to describe.
Minfilia is dear to me. It is true. But not in the way you think. 15 years passed, when she was still but a child. There was an incident at a parade. A gubu broke free of its fetters and ran amok through the streets of Ul'dah. Had I been more attentive, I could have prevented it. But I was distracted, and her father was killed. I feared she would never recover. But in the years that followed, she showed herself to be more resilient than I had ever imagined. And when she learned of her gift, she did not flinch from the responsibility, but sought to guide others on the path. She touched the hearts of all around her. Mine, Louisoire, every science. In those dark days following the calamity, she was our guiding light, our hope for a brighter future. She had so many dreams, and I would give anything to make them come true.
My apologies. I can see she means the world to you. I did not mean to pick at old scars.
No harm done, I assure you. But fair is fair, my lady. What is Minfilia to you?
You mean you don't know? Only my dearest friend. When I finally emerged from my torpor, I learned that nary a day had passed without her asking after me. She never gave up hope. And neither will I.
Then for Minfilia's sake, let us pray that these vestiges of Hydaelyn's intervention will lead us to her.
Ah, where's Flaminn? It feels good being home again. To think that everyone is waiting for us, just beyond those doors. Friends and family with whom we shared so much. God help me, but the older I get, the more sentimental I become. Come, let us not keep them waiting. Yes, that's Flaminn. Alian, FME, it fills my heart with joy to see you both hale and hearty. And what of Igiri? She's well, though abroad on a mission at present. It just wasn't the same without you. Welcome back, milady. Yeah, right, Igiri is not here. Ah, we could do more than that around here. Heartfelt units with stalwart companion brings a bloody tear to my eye. Drunkard. To secrete oneself in a ship's hold to secure safe passage to a faraway land. It's a tale we know all too well. When they are well rested, I should like to seek a formal introduction. Why wait, my friend? Come, there's no need to be shy. Pray grant me a moment longer at least, but I'm happy to oblige you. My legs are rather less accommodating. I heard it all from Alian. So where is she? If I'm to greet the songs of Uldar, I would do so on my feet. Orca, what on the 7 have drove my little brother to come to Mordana? Right, you brother, you and the science, of course. For 1,000 days I trained that I might grow as strong as you, but I might fight alongside you. Yet now that you're here, I sense that you have surpassed me once more. No, do not tell me you trained with a Hanish, did you not? Your eyes do not deceive, brother. I have studied the trials of the braves and drunk deep of the souls of mine enemies. My condolences. I have done that. It's a tedious task. Oh my, decisions. I called to know you. Glad for him to be home. I cannot help but think of those who have yet to return. Once we settled in, I would join the search. First Orca, no Hoary, a passing fancy I could suffer, but this, she's hopeless, utterly hopeless. She, I suspect. It's been so long since I've seen them all like this. Too long. It was the chaos born of my foolish ambition which forced them to flee. Though they returned, there are others yet missing, others whom we cannot forsake. We'll find them, Alphino. I know we will. Minfilia, Idor, Papalimo, every last one. And when they walk through those doors, we'll be here to welcome them home. With me at the head of the queue, of course. Yeah. The word of a mother. Alphino was eager to return to the search for Minfilia. Thancred and Krile contacted us a short while ago. It would seem that their foray into customary Danium bore fruit. They asked if we rendezvous with them and the Stoller in Idleshire, where they will share their findings. Rude though it is to depart without speaking to the guest of honor, I expect she will forgive me if I return with her daughter. My apologies. I see I'm the last to arrive, so what use have you for us? Well, as we postulated, there were indeed what appeared to be the remnants of an unexplained disturbance in the ether at the scene of the Ultima weapon destruction. A ripple at odds with a presiding pattern. Though faint, the waveform bore a strong resemblance to those observed following the destruction of the Isle of Val, when I believe Hydaelyn shielded me with a blessing of light. To confirm our findings, we paid a visit to the Sildee aqueduct. There we detected the same waveform, but orders of magnitude larger, as one would expect of a more recent disturbance. Hydaelyn, there's no other explanation. But there's more. When I studied the site where Ishtola used flow, it appeared that not 2 but 3 beings had been affected. Yet unlike Ishtola and Thancred, there was no trail to follow. Our unknown third party was simply there, and then not there. Now recall your visions of a vast crystal floating in a sea of ether. Though this too is but a theory, studies of gifted subjects suggest that, when communing with Hydaelyn, we briefly leave our bodies behind. So let us consider the facts. 1. Hydaelyn interceded. 2. A third being was caught in Ishtola's flow and vanished without a trace. And 3. Hydaelyn may have the capacity to summon the consciousness of gifted individuals to her side. You're implying, I take it, that Hydaelyn guided Minfilia into the compass of my magic, that she might summon her, body and soul, unto the ethereal sea? In which case we must need continue our search there, for a blessing the means to do so already exist. I speak of the Anti-Tower, a Sharlayan construct conceived to provide Shola's vantage point over the ethereal sea. Though I know not where its entrance lies, we need only ask its last custodian, a contrary old crone who, for another blessing, refused to join the Exodus. Master Matoya was the keeper of the Anti-Tower? I had no idea. Then our course is clear. We must petition her aid once again. Master Matoya, could you help us? Ah, what a surprise. Well, what secrets have you come to extract from me this time? Though it pains me to admit your words strike close to the mark. We humbly ask that you grant us entry to the Anti-Tower, where we might use it to seek a friend who we believe has been transported to the Ethereal Sea. And who told you I could do such a thing, I wonder? The tower was abandoned to its magical keepers 15 years ago. They have a run of the place now. If that's no deterrent to you, then by all means. Is that all? I felt sure you would seek to dissuade us from our course, given your role as custodian. Well, hardly. The Forum foisted the title on me. During the Exodus, every entrance to the Anti-Tower was sealed save one. My role consists of making sure no one with ill intent sneaks through it. Such was the Forum's final order to me. Well, I can remove the wards right now. Will you be going or not? We will, Master Matoya. We will do whatever it takes to find Minfilia. We'll see about that. Serenia can go. Take a magicless rogue too if you like. He's no use to me. The rest of you will stay and work. I'll hear no argument. Those are my terms. And I should be delighted to accompany you. Lead the way, Serenia. Thancred, no. Your etheric flow has been compromised. Do not deny it. To venture into an environment so thick with ether, so close to the ethereal sea, would be to risk further impairment, or worse. But Minfilia could be in there, waiting for us. And you could die, and for what? If she's waiting beyond, Serenia will find her. Trust in her. Have faith. Damn it all. Bring her back to us. The Enter Tower is now accessible. I would look if Thancred has a different colored eyes, but one of his eyes is covered. Okay. Anyway, next time we enter the Anti-Tower and see what awaits us there. Hopefully we find Minfilia. But until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.